Karibu kwenye Msasa, where we talk to successful people about failure.
Mike,
what's up?
So you've been in media, you've been in radio, you produce content for yourself and for others. You've got a podcast, Men. In very many ways, you are one of the pioneers within the podcast industry because the podcast space kwa Tanzania is still a fairly new thing. Like, sio kwamba kwa watu walikuwa wanafanya, lakini bado hawajatokea wa kutosha tukasema kwamba podcast is a thing. So you are also among the pioneers in that regard. Hongera sana. You've paved the way. You've made it a little bit easier for kina Msasa na wengine wanaokuja.
You're doing great, my man.
Thank you. But you've made it easier because it's not so new. You also work with children. So people like you are very interesting because people like you are interesting kwa sababu you haven't exactly had a very predictable straight path, especially professionally. And so I'm not sure how this conversation is going to go, but I have an idea. Yeah, and it might be random, hopefully for better. So, Kwanza, how long have you been employed, basically? How long have you been a professional communicator?
Started in 09 mwishoni.
This
is 2024.
Right. That's like 15 years?
15 years, yeah.
Ish, nice.
15 years, yeah.
And the first gig was?
First job. Mshahara wangu wa kwanza nilipwa na East Africa TV
East Africa TV
Limited. Yeah.
Nice.
December 09. That's what
December 09.
I remember even how much I got.
Yeah?
Na nakumbuka nilichoenda kuifanyia. It was towards the end of the year. Hey, man.
It was December.
I was young.
Nice.
December. It is what it is.
Afu East Africa walikuwa na tabia ya kuchukua watu kabla hujamaliza chuo. Ulikuwa ushamaliza chuo?
Yeah, mimi nilikuwa nimemaliza chuo.
Okay.
Yeah, mimi nilikuwa nimemaliza chuo. But then, the good thing, so it's the tech that mwaka ambao nilianza mimi ATV, at the same year ambao nimemaliza college, and then wakati niko college na malizia wakawa wametangaza. So me, Seba.
Yeah.
Somebody who de Okitama, this girl Minali.
Yes.
Dada moja inaitwa Lotus alikuwa anafanya Nelvana.
Je, unajua kuongea?
Yes.
Una mvuto. Unashini nini?
Yes. Ilikuwa tangazo hilo. Nikawa na gauge kama should I not go? And then mzee wangu was like, look man, you're here, usiku kama una kazi anyways. So go give it a shot. Ikishindikana come back home. And then so that is how I got that job.
Okay.
Yeah. Then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kwani chuo ulikuwa umesomea nini?
Chuo nilisomea mass communication.
Okay.
Nika specialize on TV and radio production. But I never wanted to do that.
You didn't want to do it?
Never at all.
Hayo maamuzi uliyapata baada ya kumaliza kusoma, wakati unasoma ukaona kabisa
So I, like any other kid kwanza nilivyokuwa mdogo nitaka kuwa padri.
Unataka kuwa padri?
Yeah, kabisa. Yani nilivyokuwa mdogo nikasema nitaka kuwa padri. And then ukaanza kuanza kugundua kuna mambo muhimu ambayo inabidi yafanye kama binadamu ambao ukiwa padri huwezi. Kwa hiyo as I got older, I was like, you know what? Naweza nikawa pilot. Primary nimefanya math vizuri kabisa. Form 1 mathematics ilikuwa problem. Form 2 nikakutana na log and all these other things. I was like, maybe math is not for me. So nikasema, you know what, nitakuja kufanya sheria. So nikamaliza O-level vizuri kabisa. Nikaenda A-level michezo ikawa mingi sana kuliko kusoma. Right? According matokeo yangu yalivyotoka form 6 haikuwa mazuri sana ya kunifanya nisome sheria. So I remember this, wakati mzee wangu alikuwa anafanya kazi Mwanza by then. So I remember siku tumekaa nyumbani tunapiga story kama mita rafiki yake mmoja alikuwa ni lecturer pale Mzumbe. Nikamwambia I want to do law. Akaambia look, you can. Yeah. Lakini inabidi uanze na certificate.
Yeah. Certificate of diploma.
Yeah. I was like, why not? Yani watu niliomaliza nao naingia moja kwa moja kwenye degree, mimi na certificate na nini. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So mzee akaambia, okay, unafanya nini? Nikamwambia nataka kwenda nje kusoma. Mzee akaambia nataka kwenda nje kusoma. Nataka kwenda kusoma nini? Mzee nataka kwenda kusoma IT. Kama Michael na IT. No. Taka niende Finland IT. Au niende Ukraine. Nikasome sheria. Na that's the time zako kundo mtoto ana data huyu.
Ukraine? Kwa nini Ukraine?
I don't know. Kulikuwa kuna opportunity ya kwenda na ilikuwa ni rahisi kwenda if I wanted to go back there. Probably by now with everything that's going on I would have been money.
Yeah.
So akanambia okay, in the meantime nikan apply St. Augustine University.
Okay.
And katika course kulikuwa kuna mass communication, kulikuwa kuna bachelor of BBA, business administration. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to do business administration. So the only thing that's sensible ambayo ningeweza kuomba ilikuwa ni mass communication. Yeah. So wakati napambana na mzee niende nisiende na nini, matokeo yametoka nikaa nimechaguliwa kwenda kusoma mass communication.
Yeah.
So mzee akaambia, look, this is what we're going to do. Kasoma degree yako hapa. Ukimaliza, na kama bado uko unataka kwenda kusoma masters nje, I'll try to make it happen for you.
Okay.
I was like, what, 3 years? I can do that.
Yeah.
Haina neno mzee. Yeah. So wakati nenda kusoma St. Augustine Mass Communication, that's the first time nasikia kuhusu mass com.
Okay.
First time kabisa. Na nivenda pale, did my research, nikasema okay, nitaingia pale, nitasoma public relations, nita-opt kwenye public relations. Nitamaliza chuo, worst case scenario, naweza ngenda kuwa PRO kama Gator Gold Mine, TANESCO, wapi. I had a part of this. I'm like, this is, what else am I going to do, right? But then, nikaingia chuo, so kulikuwa kuna radio chuo pale, inaitwa Radio South.
Yeah.
And I remember this day, nilikuwa nimekaa nje napiga story na watu, and then nikaanza kuongea kuhusu music, starting about Jay-Z, AY, FA. And I was so into it. Kuna jamaa mmoja anaitwa Salamani Msumi. Msumi right now, sasa hivi nadhani ni DC wa Arusha mjini au mkurugenzi. I'm not sure one of those. But mimi niko first year, Msumi alikuwa third year. So Msumi alikuwa anafanya kipindi pale radioni, kipindi cha entertainment. So akanisikia, akaniambia, you know what? Come, enjoy radioni. I was like, to do what? I mean, no, just come through and then we'll talk. So tumeingia mle ndani, and then we just started talking about music, na nini, and then messages naingia, kwamba, oh wow, it's good, we like, who's this guy, na nini. So nimetoka hapa kutana na wanafunzi wa chuo, na kwamba, oh, that was good, na nini. So I thought it was, hey, that was, okay, it makes sense, I can actually do it. But then, what I didn't know, kulikuwa kuna process kabla ya kupeleka onea kwenye radio ya chuo. I had no idea. Mimi nilikuwa dragged to kwamba njoo. So on Sunday, tulikuwa tunaita postmortem session where you just sit and you talked about everything. Because sababu ni radio ya chuo, na kwa hiyo sio tu haielimishi tu, lakini pia nafundisha wanafunzi. Kwa every Sunday kuna postmortem session ambao mnakaa mnaongea, you discuss vipindi vilivyopita throughout the week, mistakes that we have made na nini, and then you plan for wiki inayofuata. It's a must to attend.
Okay.
Mimi kwa kuwa nilikuwa sijui, baada hapo nikaendelea na maisha yangu.
Yeah.
So director, rafiki yangu sana, mkurugenzi Doto Buletu, akaingia pale, akasema, Michael Baruti ndio nani? Namtafuta, sionekani. Akasema, sitaki kumwona redioni kwangu, wala sitaki kumsikia. Nani anadhani yeye ana audacity kuja tu na kuingia onea? Akamwambia, bati aliletwa na watu hatutaki, na hata aliyemleta amekosea sana. So mimi niko huko naishi na kukutana na watu, aisee, unatafuta vibaya. Na mlapa, what did I do? So ikabidi niende kumtafuta jamaa. Nikamwambia, mzee, mimi ndo Michael Baruti. Anambia, kumbe it's you. I'm like, yeah, it's me. Wewe ndo ungia redioni. Sasa mbona kufuata procedure? I'm like, what procedure? Kama no, you have to come, ufanye kwenye postmortem, na nini. I was like, all right, cool. So nikaenda the following week. Nimeingia the following week, nikaambia, okay, kabla hujaenda, first you have to go and do news writing. Na news reporting. I was like, aha. Do I want to do this? Is it worth it? But then again, ukifanya hivyo, that's when utapeleka onea.
Yeah.
So the pull for me to be on air, ilikuwa ni kubwa zaidi kuliko uvivu wa kuweza kusema nikatafuti news.
Yeah.
So I was like,
you know what? It's the price you had to pay.
Well, yeah, it's the price you have to pay. So basi, nikaenda pale, nikaanza, this is first year.
Yeah.
So nikaenda natafuta news, naleta pale, naandika, zinasomwa, news zenyewe zingine zinachanwa, sio nzuri, na nini, it's part of growth. After kama 2 months, nikaambiwa, njoo sasa, unaanza kupewa vipindi vya usiku. But then, nilikuwa nikiingia, nikawasha feda, nikaanza kutangaza. I felt so good. I was like, maybe this is what I should do. So imeenda first year, nimerudi home likizo. Mzee anambia, okay, so unafanya nini second year, you gotta choose now path. Nikamwambia, mzee, I think I'm gonna opt for radio. It's like, what? Yeah, nikamwambia, I think I'm gonna do TV and radio production. Are you serious? Nikamwambia, yeah. why? Nikamwambia, look, at the end of the day, nikigraduate itaandika to be of arts and mass communication.
Yeah.
Haitaandika specialize in TV.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, I can still do PR.
Yeah.
But then this is what I want to do. Nimefungua chuo second year, I was like, I'm going to do TV and radio. And then that was it.
Yeah.
So I have this love for radio that I cannot explain kwa watu. And I just, I always feel like waga naambia tu mpaka nikisikia radio, I'm like, nikisikia tangazo, I'm like, why did you say that? Could have been better. Or I'm like, oh wow, that was a good link. Like I listen to radio from a whole different perspective. Of course, I listen to the content, but I listen to the delivery.
Men does sound like a radio show.
It was.
It sounds like I think was the intro.
Yeah. It purely, the design was purely from a radio perspective.
Right,
you know?
Right.
So yeah, nimeenda up after I graduated, nilipata kazi. I got job offers about 3 or 4 places. Nilipata Kiss FM, Radio Free Africa. They wanted me. I did a little thing. I did a little thing with Clouds TV ndo ilikuwa inaanza. So nimeenda pale, I'm like, should I not? And then EATV called. I was like, you know what? It's established. It's Africa Radio. It's all hit station.
Was hot.
It was hot. The drops were amazing. Like 88.1. East Africa Radio. All hit station. I was like, this is what I want to do. So nikafika pale. But even then, nimeenda pale pia, nimeenda na degree yako, unakuta watu na experience zao. So you also
have to learn.
You have to learn. You have to prove yourself. Kama you can actually do it. Kwa nenye, tafuta sana news, fanya sana vox pops, tengeneza sana vipindi vya watu, nenda zunguka sana mtaani kusanya mawazo ya watu. And then nakutana mtu kama Musa Hussein, is very experienced. Akamwambia, look, I'll hold your hand, let's do this. Kuna Josh Murunga, Jimmy Kabwe. Jimmy Kabwe literally was telling me, this is how unatangaza redioni. This is how you do your link. Jimmy, the first guy nilikuwa namwona anaingia redioni na notes. Ameandika talking points zake. Like, he had his notes. He knows the music he would play. Like, he knows, like, sahi nitasema. And it was just mind-blowing for me. And then kuna watu wengine, they don't even to write. Like, they would know exactly what to say for each. So it's been like, radio has always been my first love, and even the journey of kwenda kwenye podcast, it came from that. So
is it possible that it was easy to? I'm just
it's okay.
Thinking out loud. Is it possible ilikuwa rahisi zaidi to fall in love with radio kwa sababu tayari ulikuwa unatamani kuwa padri?
What? Unafanya therapy?
I'm just saying, I'm not doing therapy, but so kuwa padri, manake lazima una confidence ya kusimama mbele. You have to be comfortable with the sound of your own voice.
So I've never thought of it that way. I've never ever thought of it that way. But something funny ni kwamba nilivyoanza kutangaza, everybody was like, it makes sense. Like my mom, dadangu, mzee, my brothers, everybody alikuwa ananifahamu, like, it makes so much sense now. Even right now, nikutana na watu ambao hawakujua kama nipo radio, nikianza kuambia I used to be on radio, they're like, okay, that makes sense. And I don't know why. Na sijui kwa nini, lakini when I started doing, for a lot of people are like, oh, okay, like this is what you were meant to do, or this is what you were supposed to do, you know? So, yeah, that's probably, I don't know, maybe I've always had a thing, toka nilivyokuwa mdogo, maybe I've always been the kind of guy who was, napenda kuongea, very expressive. Okay. Very expressive.
Are you an extrovert?
100%.
Okay.
I am 100% an extrovert.
Okay, so
kwa hiyo it has always been like that. Kwa nadhani nilianza kufanya, it wasn't surprise to anybody. Probably watu wangekuwa surprised kama nisingeishia kule. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. Na ndio maana nakwambia ni, with everything that I've done, like literally all I've done my whole career is content. Like nimefanya radio wakati niko EATV. Nimetoka EATV nikaenda kufanya kazi na Femina Hip as a radio producer. Nimetoka Femina Hip nikaenda BBC Media Action as a senior producer for a radio show. Nimetoka pale nimeenda kazi Ubongo as a content. Nimeenda as a creative producer first, creating content ambayo ni TV na radio. Right now nafanya kazi kama creative director. Lakini vile you're creating content at TV na radio. I even do a podcast as well. So it's like, it has always imeishia pale. And I don't see myself doing anything else. I don't know. Mungu anajua, lakini it's always been like that.
Are you spiritual?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Would you consider it a calling?
I would consider it more like njia ya kufikia purpose yangu. I don't know if that's a calling or not.
I also don't know.
Yeah, I always feel like, waganasema kwamba I feel like right now is when I'm finding my purpose. Like I can tell. And my purpose has always been to serve. In the sense that always lazima nifanye kitu ambacho kitakuwa kina impact kwa watu. Right? So when I was doing radio, wakati niko East Africa, nilikuwa nafanya show inaitwa Super Mix. It was a mid-morning show.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of mid-morning shows zilikuwa mostly kuhusiana content ambayo imelenga labda wakina mama zaidi. You know, mid-morning kwa ambao wafam radio ni saa 3 mpaka saa 7 ule muda. Kwa muda ambao vipindi vimelenga wakina mama zaidi na nini. But me and my guys, and boy, shout out to him, who was my co-host then, our show was pretty much about what is going on in the community.
Yeah.
Kwamba kwa nini serikali ya mtaa haijafanya hivi hapa? Kwa nini waziri huyu hajafanya nini hapa? Call us tuambie kwa nini mikopo haijatoka. Kwa nini wananchi wanabomolewa nyumba zao. So it has always been a show ambayo, it was a show ambayo it had a huge impact. So when I left Nikaenda Femina, we're creating a radio show what was pretty much about making agriculture look cool.
Making agriculture look cool for young people.
For young people. So that is what we did. Nimetoka Nikaenda BBC, we are creating a governance radio show which was about pushing for accountability for both the citizens and the government. Right? Which is pretty an influencing policy, which is pretty much, guys, these things have to change. Right? Nimetoka hapo at Ubongo, now creating Ubongo Kids, Akile Mi Nuzanene, which is pretty much impacting watoto. Na kujaribu ku create educational foundation, kwa impact na wenye kwa na positive mindset, na critical skills, critical thinking skills, ambazo zinaweza kufanya excel kwenye maisha yao. You know, it is about impact. I do the podcast on Men, which is about mental health for men as well. It really is about impact. And the thing with me, kila mtu ananijua anajua kwamba you call me and it's about something that is going to help people, I'll be there.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So ndio maana nasema it's more like ni njia ya kunifanya mimi nifikie kwenye purpose yangu. And my purpose really is to serve. That's it.
It's beautiful.
That's all I'm here for.
Ongera kwa kujua. A lot of us are still figuring that out.
And it's okay. Look, it's never a one-day thing. It's a process. And you got to go through things sometimes. You might think it. You might not know that you think it. But then somewhere kuna kitu kitatokea takutrigger. You'll be like, you know what? This makes so much sense for me kuwa hapa nilipo because I'm here to do 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. If there's a year you could relive, ingekuwa ni mwaka gani na kwa nini?
The year that I could relive.
If you could relive a specific year, which year would it be and why?
So many years. Kwanza moja, just to make it clear, I do not have regrets.
Okay.
Kwa kwanzia.
Okay.
I believe kila kitu kimetokea for a reason.
Okay.
Na kila kitu kimetokea ili niishie kuwa hapa nilipo.
Okay.
You know, like me and you talking here, it's because kuna vitu vimetokea. Vimebidi vitokea mpaka viko now. Inaweza kuwa ni vitu ambavyo sikufurahia. You know, inaweza kuwa ni vitu ambavyo nilifurahia. But there was a reason why vilitokea kuja kufikia, right? But if there was a year that I will ningesema ni relive, I would think maybe the year 2010. 2010.
Hapo ulikuwa ushaanza kazi?
Nilikuwa nishaanza kazi. Now I'm saying because I lost my dad in 2011.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I could have lived that year more with more purpose. No. Now this is me assuming ningejua kwamba right? Lakini nadhani ningeweza kuwa more purposeful na ningeweza kutoa muda zaidi. Kwa sababu mimi mzee alikuwa anakaa Morogoro, mimi niko Dar. Right? So it was easier nenda rudi. But I didn't do that as much then, right? Ndo career inaanza na nini. So that is one year ambayo ningeweza kusema kwamba, you know, maybe I could have spent more time with him. Na kuja kupata wisdom yake zaidi. You know, alikuwa ameretire, alikuwa nyumbani, he had all the time in the world. So if there's one year I could live, that would be that year. The year 2010. I feel like kuna vitu sana ambavyo I missed out kwa sababu I was so absorbed with what was happening with yani ndani ya maisha yangu at that time. Na sikuweza ku take a step back na kuanza ku appreciate the people around me more. You know, and here nikiongelea specifically kuhusiana Mzee Baruti mwenyewe. Yeah, so that is one year I've never thought about, by the way. Vuniambia hapa ndio it hit me kwamba yani, yeah, maybe that is one year ambavyo yani if I could, and I hope I would have done better. But in terms of being grateful, the year that I could have lived would be 2014.
2014.
I got married that year.
Yeah, nice.
I got married that year to an amazing woman, mother of my kids. It had its challenges, weddings.
Yeah.
Weddings.
Yeah.
They come with a lot of things here and there, hapa na pale na nini.
Yeah.
But the ending was just, because I got married in November. So it was the end of the year. So the end of the year was just, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Yani,
ulifunga mwaka vizuri.
Nifunga mwaka vizuri.
Na kila mwaka unafunga mwaka vizuri.
Kila mwaka nafunga mwaka vizuri.
Yes.
Shukuru Mungu.
For 10 years now.
10 years now. This is our 10th year. Yeah. We started dating in 2006. Yeah. Usually we're talking like, we've known each other for 18 years.
Yeah.
18 years.
Yeah. Sana.
Yeah, thanks, man. God's God. Mungu tu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mungu tu. Yeah.
So, as somebody who is able to communicate the way you communicate, professionally and professionally, like literally umesomea na umeifanyia kazi. When the idea came to do a podcast, why mental health? Like, why was that the topic that you chose? But you know what? This is something that I think we should have more conversations about. Because it could have been anything else.
It could have been. I could have been doing a hip-hop show. I love hip-hop.
Hip-hop. Sindio, yani?
Could have been. Could have been dissecting Jay-Z lines.
Sindio.
Per episode.
Sindio.
Right.
Like you had the power to choose.
Yeah.
Why mental health?
Karibu kwenye Msasa, where we talk to successful people about failure.
So I went through my own personal struggles. I think around from 2015, maybe. Right? I was in a roller coaster. And after that, I had to go to therapy. Okay. Right? And as I was going through therapy...
Were you depressed?
I was getting there.
Okay.
I was depressed. But I didn't know I was, right? So it's like when you're in the middle of the storm, sometimes you don't know you're in the middle of the storm. Mpaka when somebody pulls you out, I'm like, hey man, come here. Talk hapa jiangalie. So that's what therapy did for me.
You went to therapy though.
I did.
That's the thing. You went to therapy though.
I did.
As a guy. That's not normal.
It's not.
How?
But here's the thing. Ilikuwaje. I remember one day nilikuwa nimekaa ofisini pale Mikocheni. And then things were just not happening. Things were just not moving for me. And I don't know if I was watching something, I was reading something, but then it hit me like, Michael, come on. Moja, umesoma. Pili, you have a better understanding of these things. Tatu, una kadi ya bima ya afya. Make it work. Nikatoka kwa kuna kampuni moja hivi ambayo tulikuwa ndio ilikuwa inatuprovidea service ya mambo ya afya. Nikaenda mpaka pale. Haikuwa mbali na nilipokuwa nafanya kazi. Nikamwambia, guys, I need help. Then I met this guy. Nikamwambia, okay, tupenge sessions zetu. So after that, I started going through these things. We started to unpack. Did a lot of sessions. I started to unpack things. Na nikaanza kujifaa mimi na nikagundua why I do the thing that I do. What are my triggers? Vitu gani ambavyo I'm struggling with. Vitu gani ambavyo kwangu ni rahisi sana kufanya. You know, I went through all that process. Baada ya kumaliza, not baada ya kumaliza, while I'm going through it, I was having a conversation with some of my close friends. I was like, guys, I'm going through this. People are like, Michael, come on. Mwanaume. What would you think is special? We all go through that.
Okay.
And it's normal. In my mind, I'm like, you cannot say this is normal because this thing almost wrecked me. Unasemaje ni normal, you know? So it was on the back of my mind, something has to be done. Now, 2018, I got a chance ya kwenda, this is after my therapy na nini, I got a chance ya kushiriki wanaita Mandela Washington Fellowship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I went to, walinipeleka US. So, Philly. Tumefika pale, I met a lot of people from other countries from Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah.
And then, nikakutana na watu ambao they're pretty much activists on mental health. So, took a conversation. And we started to talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, we should do more. But I'm like, what can you do? Somebody was like, but a journalist, you should be able to do something.
Yeah.
Think about what you can do within your space, right? So that year, and then I came back, I had a conversation with my guy in Chakali. And it's like, maybe, as we were talking, it's like, he's my dude, kabisa. I can maybe we should do a podcast, or maybe we can start a podcast around mental health for men. I was like, you know what? Yeah. So me and him, we started bouncing off idea. Maybe we should not. But then we all got caught up. So still towards the year 2018, that's when I figured out, Michael, come here, John, this is what you can do. But then there was no push. Because Bob was thinking a lot of things. If you do it, then you got to be able to tell your story.
Yeah.
Do you want to put yourself out there? People are knowing you. People are knowing you for to being this kind of guy.
Yeah.
Tukitoka hapo to come to it's, you got to think about a lot of things. I was like, should I not?
Yeah.
So I tweeted towards the end of 2018, I wanted to do a podcast.
You tweeted?
I tweeted 2018, toward the end of the year, I wanted to do a podcast on mental health for men. This year, nimeshinda, but 2019, I'll make it happen. The responses that I got left me in shock. People are like, do it. We need it. It's needed. Guys go through a lot. Please do it. We'll support you. And I was amazed. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, wow. Kumbe it can actually be done.
Afya ya akili.
Afya ya akili.
Lakini sio tu afya ya akili kwa mwanaume.
Yeah. So after that, it took me a year just lazing around with the idea, and I wasn't doing anything. And then I think sometimes in October, I was like, you know what? If I put out one episode, because I love consistency and I hate failing, especially nikianza kitu, like siachiki vitu kati. I'm like, nikianza moja, najua to push me to do more. So November 2019, I dropped the first episode.
Men imeanza 2019?
2019 November.
Okay.
That's when we did the first episode. This is 2024. We've done 94 episodes.
Oof.
So it's been that journey. When I started, and for me, it was more like, because when I started nilikuwa nafanya kazi BBC, it was more like studios ipo.
Yeah.
On Sundays, ziko free.
Yeah.
You can come and record on Sundays.
Yeah.
You can edit.
Yeah.
It's only audio.
Yeah.
I called my guy MX. I'm like, yo, I want to put this out. How do I do it? I come back and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3. Just send it to me.
Yeah.
But I come back, okay, we need artwork.
Yeah.
So I called my guy, and it was Shady. I'm a Shady. You're a graphic guy.
Yeah.
Give me some graphics or whatever. But I was like, okay, Michael, you need to have drops. So I called my guy, and X. I'm like, X. Not this X, another X. I like X, I need drops.
Yeah.
I used to work with him. Akaambia poa.
Kina X wako vizuri.
Vibaya mno. Najua kama wanne hivi. Hamna hata mmoja ambaye amenifelisha. So X akaniambia njoo, nimeenda studio pale kwake, akatengeneza drops pale, akanipa, nimeenda nimeedit, put them out, dropped an episode.
Ilikuwa audio.
Ilikuwa purely audio. So we started with audio, and we did audio for a long time. I think we kufanya video kwenye episode number 70 something. But we were pretty much doing audio for the longest time.
Na kitu ziko ni audio.
Audio too. So then after that, it started growing, and then people started calling like, yo, let's come and talk about this. Get this somebody to come and speak about this.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I started, I had no idea kuna issue nyingi. I had no idea tungefika episode number 94.
Yeah.
But the more you do it, the more you realize kwamba the little things ambavyo nadhani sio muhimu, they're actually very important.
Yeah.
So, and it's the little thing that, or the thing that we think are so little that we don't want to talk about, are the things that are affecting people the most. So find a way to amplify them, put them out there, and have conversations about it.
Michael, tell me about those little things.
I think we take for granted as men.
Yeah.
I think we take for granted things like family time. It's all about talk at hela. Hata washikaji tukiambia wewe piga hela tu.
Yeah.
Real washikaji tukiambia go home, man. Spend time with your kids.
Yeah.
So we take for granted those kind of things.
Zingine tu wanawake watakwambia katafuta hela.
It's true.
Yeah.
But they're very selfish. Kwa sababu ukipata hela utatumia kwao.
Yeah.
They're very selfish.
Yeah.
It's human nature. We all are.
They're smart.
We got this shit figured out. So things like those, kwamba tafuta hela, chano familia, watoto watakuwa. It's come on, man. Vitu kama wanaume tunaambiana kwamba yule demu wetembea naye. I'm like, but you have to. You have a family. Why are you doing this? Or things like finances. We tend to never worry too much kwamba kesho itakuja, tuwe tuishi tu leo. So those are the little things ambavyo we take for granted, lakini vinakuja kuwa na impact kubwa sana kwetu. And those are not the kind of things we talk about. Things like mtu anakuambia mwanaume hela yako ni ya kwako. It could be true. It works, but it's 2024 and the economy is hard. Is the way for you and your partner to have conversation about finances and find a way to make it work. So those are the kind of things like addictions. Tunalaumu sana mateja, and we think huo ndio addiction pekee iliyopo, lakini kuna sex addictions, alcohol, social media, substance abuse, and all those kind of things. Tukikutana baa kila siku, tunapeana sifa kwamba nani ni bingwa wa kunywa. Lakini as men, na we have this competition ya kijinga sana. Nikuta umekunywa bia 4, kama inaanza moja, I need to keep up with you. But I'm like, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the idea was to say, let's have real talk. Let's talk about the thing that are really, really, really affecting us.
Yeah.
Vitu ambavyo vinaweza vikatusaidia kwa bora. And the idea I always say is, kama leo unaweza kuwa bora zaidi ya jana, that means you're on the right track as a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hivyo vitabia na hizo tabia ambazo tunakuwa tunachocheana. At what point does it tie back to mental health?
I think it all ties back to mental health. Kwa sababu, look at it this way. Kama every day natoka ofisini saa 11, lakini naingia nyumbani saa 6 usiku, Monday to Friday, because as many nipite back kuliko kwenda nyumbani, either there's something wrong at home or there's something wrong with me. Either I'm avoiding something, au kuna kitu kabisa sitaki kuonana nacho. It ties down to mental health. What is it?
You're avoiding.
If every day salary yangu ikiingia tarehe 26 au tarehe 24, tarehe 23, wherever unavyolipwa, ikifika tarehe 30 sina kitu, naanza kupiga simu tena kutafuta mikopo kwa watu kuishi, there's something wrong with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ties down to mental health. Actually, waga nasema kwamba as a nation, kama tukiweza kuaddress mental health, especially kwa wanaume, probably to solve half of the problems that we have as a nation. Things like gender-based violence.
Ukatili
wa kijinsia. Ambao mara nyingi wanaume ndio tunasababisha. Mara nyingi, sio mara zote, mara nyingi. Vitu kama reckless behaviors, sexual transmitted diseases. Vitu kama, again, substance abuse, tunarudi pale. Things kama absent fathers. Kwa sababu mtoto anahitaji presence ya baba. Lakini kwa sababu baba tuko busy sana dunia, saa nyingine we don't really think kwamba we need to go back home na kujaribu kulea ambao tumewaleta hapa duniani, regardless what's happening. You know what I mean? So kama tukiweza kuaddress mental health kwa wanaume, I strongly believe tunaweza tukadili na half ya matatizo ambayo tulionayo as a nation. So it all ties back to that.
I was reading something and wakawa wanasema kwamba for most men, one of the biggest fears is the inability to provide. And as a result, I don't want to say an excuse, but I guess it's a reason ya kufocus kwenye hiko kutafuta. You've talked with a lot of men. What's your thought about that?
It is true. Our biggest fear is that. Kwa sababu tukija kuangalia katika community yetu na context yetu, tunampima mwanaume kutokana na kile ambacho anaweza akaleta mezani au kile ambacho anaweza akapeleka nyumbani. Right? Na unaposhindwa kuwa hivyo, then haijalishi kingine kipi unaleta. Unaweza ukaleta principles, unaweza ukaleta values, unaweza ukaleta a very good upbringing for the child. Unaweza ukaleta a very good partner kwa mwenzako, your spouse. Lakini kama huwapi nyumba nzuri, hawali vizuri, hawendeshi gari nzuri, we start judging you. So because of that, people would rather forgo all these other things watachana navyo.
Focus kwenye hela.
Kwa sababu again, that's how tunapimana. Right? And it's the biggest fear kwa wanaume wengi sana. Hata conversation is, I think it's better for us. It's worse for the next generation now kuja. You look at conversations and kwenye social media siku hizi every day. Maana pia wanaangalia
vitu ambavyo saa zingine havina ukweli sana, lakini inaongeza tu pressure.
Come on. I'm looking at my age when I was 24. Probably I was living at home. Right now I'm talking about hapana miaka 24 when I get, I'm like, how? That is not, there's too much noise and I think another reason why we do the podcast now is, as men, we need to be able to block those noises. Now, kuweza focus on the bigger goal. And the bigger goal is, can you be a better man? Can you be a better man? Kwa sababu, leo asubuhi my brother-in-law alikuwa amepelekwa Aga Khan emergency, right? So I went there in the morning, nilikuwa pale.
Okay.
Nikawa na check. Akasema wakati anaenda mke wake was driving, akapata ajali. Porsche car. Na ameacha Porsche car nyingine nyumbani, right? Has a very nice car. Pale amepata ajali ikabidi aingie kwenye bajaji. Wakaenda mpaka hospitali. So nifika pale nikamwambiaje? You know how God loves to humble people. Nikamwambia, look at you. Fancy car at home. Your wife also has a very fancy car. But hospitali umeingia na bajaji. You didn't bring your car with you here. You were planning to bring the other one, but you couldn't get here. Bajaji imekuleta hapa. That's how life is. You know what I mean? Kwa hiyo, we have to be able to focus on the bigger picture, kuona kwamba, who am I as a man? What do I bring to the table? It's good you have money. I'm not saying don't look for money, but can you do more? Can you be accountable? Can you be a good partner? Unaweza kuwa msikilizaji mzuri. Can you be there for your kids?
Yeah.
You know, can you still values to your kids? Can you be present? You know? It's good you do that, ukaweza kuprovide, but, you know, na saa nyingine kuprovide ni baraka.
Yeah.
We're not all blessed wote hatuwezi kuwa blessed kwa matajiri.
Yeah.
You know? So, as much as chasing money, what happens when you don't get it?
Yeah.
Because haina guarantee kwamba you're going to get it.
Yeah.
So what happens when you don't get it?
Yeah.
Should you feel less of a man? And that's the idea that we want people to focus on. Kuambia kwamba, come on, there is more than just, you know, it's important to provide, but you should be able to provide in your own context. And
yeah. Umejifunza wapi hizi vitu zote?
Life. Conversing with people.
Yeah.
Conversing with people. Therapy.
Yeah.
It took a while, quite comfortable with who I am, what I am.
Yeah.
Talking to right people. There are so many people ambao they have so much knowledge.
Yeah.
Kuna watu ambao they're very confident with who they are.
Yeah.
Yani unajua kuna watu
comfortable in their own skin.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
And then when you talk to those people, you might feel like, come on, I'm doing better than you. But how are you so comfortable and so... And then and you start having conversation with them. You realize, come on, oh, wow, there's more to life than all this, you know? Because it's for me, and I always say, Kombani, have a teachable mind.
Have a teachable mind.
Have a teachable mind. And don't you ever think kwamba you know it all. Have a teachable mind. And an open heart. Jifunze kusikiliza. That's how you learn. That's how you learn. And that's how you get better.
Yeah.
Kuna watu mimi nikikutana, I don't say a word. All I do is listen. And they are full of wisdom. I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you need to have those people around you.
Yeah.
Because Babu Kama, you think you're the smartest one around, and clearly there's something's off with your cycle. So so for me, it's all about it's been about listening, it's been about observing, talking to people.
Yeah.
Kuangalia, like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And then kuna people that I can have honest conversation, like, yo man, I'm not doing so great.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with 1 and 2, and people are like, come on, Mike, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
We've been there.
Yeah.
This is like that out.
Yeah.
So
kuongea pia.
Sana.
Pia wanaume tuongea sana.
Wanaume tuongea. Wanaume tunashindana tu kwenye ada za watoto shule, magari mazuri, how much money we have in the bank.
Yeah.
Na vitu kama hivyo. But we should be able to have some real conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, what made you go to therapy?
A lot. I think around things just... I think I'm trying to speak about it, but it involves other people, so I'm trying to be I'm trying to be cautious around
it.
Yes. But I think for me, didn't get to, thank God, haikufika kwenye substance abuse or addictions or nini. It just got to a point where my mind was swamped to the point kwamba hata productivity yangu ikashuka.
Like, productivity
kazini na presence nyumbani.
Okay.
Right?
Afu uko shower wakati wa.
Uko shower, na presence nyumbani. So your partner is more like, come on, what's going on? Right? Kazini, they're like, come on, you're slacking. What is going on? You know when you're at your best. Or even when you're not even on your best. Unajua yani ukiwa normal.
Yeah, ukoje.
And you know ukiwa normal, you've got shit covered. But then again, when things are not moving that way, clearly something is off. Right? And I think for me, yalikuwa ni matokeo ya kubeba vitu for the longest time.
Okay.
And I'm more of and I'm more of a guy who would like, if I like you and you're my guy, I'll take bullets for you.
Yeah.
I'll do things for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that took its toll.
Betrayal?
I would say a little bit of that, but also it was more of, why am I doing so much for other people? I don't know if it's betrayal or not, but I don't feel like they're doing
much for you.
Me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It was more on that context. You know, and I was like, but my intention is good.
Yeah.
How are you not getting my intention? Like the intent is good. I'm only doing it to make things right or whatever, but how are you not getting it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was around that context. I'm waiting to find a customer, you know what? Get your shit together, man.
Yeah.
Go out, get some help. Get to the bottom of this.
Ulijidaka mwenyewe? Au kuna mtu alikudaka?
I remember I had a very long conversation with my brother. You come, he remembers it. But kuna siku tulikuwa tumekaa sehemu tukaongea sana. And then he said something that really resonated with me. Like, Michael, usione watu wanaendesha magari yao wanapita hapo mjini. Everybody's going through some things.
Yeah.
So don't think you're the only one ambaye unapitia mambo.
Yeah.
Yani, don't think you're special. Kwamba matatizo yako ni yako
tu.
No. Kwamba you're not that special. So whatever it is that you're going through, fix it. It can be fixed. Whatever it is that you're going through, it can be fixed. But it has to start with you.
Yeah. Do you still do therapy?
Karibu kwenye Msasa, where we talk to successful people about failure.
Yeah, every now and then. Not on regular, but every now and then. And right now, let's tell people, command, if you want to do therapy, do it when everything is good.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. Na mshikaji wangu mmoja,
yeah.
Tuko napiga story, siku si nyingi.
Yeah.
So yeye alianzaga therapy, lakini siku hizi bado anafanya tu therapy. Yani kama kwenye gharama zake za mwezi, za kimaisha,
Smart man.
Ana kila kidogo ambayo atafanya at least session moja kwa mwezi.
Smart man.
Kupiga tu story na mazafani hivi.
Yeah. Because what therapy does is, unakutana mtu ambaye kufahamu, so they don't judge you. They don't know you. They don't judge you.
Kuna therapist wetu fulani hivi kwa vile wanabadilisha sura zao. Huyu ataongea kanisani huyu.
But this is when you need to go to the professionals.
Well, they're professionals wamesomea.
Professionals kuna ethics kama daktari vile. Daktari kusema Elisha jana amekuja bwana amepima bwana. Hamna kitu pale. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Sawa. Michael, do you cry?
When shit hit the fence.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does it come easily or is it just like...
I'm a man. I'm a regular African man. It doesn't come easy.
Yeah.
When it happens, I think the last time that I cried is when I lost my mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law?
My mother-in-law.
That's special.
Yeah. That's the last time.
Malivana?
Sana. We tulikuwa tunakaa naye. Yeah, and she literally took care of my firstborn. So your bibi, na jukumu.
Yeah.
They had a very special bond. Na mimi naituelewana sana. And then also it hit me when I was at my lowest.
Okay.
Career-wise. In the sense. I always say, and I don't know if... Anyway, maybe I should talk about it. So between Jan mpaka March, year 2021, ni mwaka ambao I'll never forget in my life.
Kwa nini?
Ever. So my contract at BBC ended in December 2020.
Yeah.
And by then I was trying to figure out, do I want to go back to work? Or do I want to venture into my own thing? Right?
Okay.
So I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it was that time of COVID ilikuwa imetokea.
Yeah.
So in January, my mom got sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, COVID. I was like, cool. Kenda kumwangalia mama. My brother kameenda Zambia kufanya kazi. Mama yuko Morogoro.
Okay.
Sasa si jobless siko mjini. What do you do? Go kumwangalia mama. Sawa. Kwa jobless na mama mwangalia.
Sawa. Yeah.
Right? So nikameenda kumwangalia mama Morogoro. My brother kameenda Zambia kikazi. Akapigwa COVID kule. Ile COVID ya ICU kabisa. So my mama anaumwa huko. my brother no more. And I'm stuck in the middle. So I'm like, I cannot go to Zambia because I cannot leave my mom.
Yeah.
But then...
Nyimko ili to 2 boys?
No.
Okay.
Tuko wengi.
Okay.
It's 3 boys and 1 girl.
Okay.
So like kuna kakangu mkubwa and then we anaifata and then my sister. So like we're trying to figure out kwamba, okay, how do we go? What do we do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife is asthmatic. Akapata COVID. Now my mother-in-law. So I'm all over the place. And I'm jobless at that time. Yeah. So I'm literally all over the place. And then, so my little brother had to go to Zambia to look after my brother. Mimi nikatoka na mama, tukamekuja naye hapo when she got better. Come stay at my sister so she can look after you. And then mimi nikasema, let me deal home now, my wife and my mother-in-law. Wakati I'm applying for jobs. So because now I'm like, okay, you need a job.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, but fortunately, my brother made it. My mom made it. But my mother-in-law couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Now, this is the woman we were living together in my house for 5-6 years.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, you gotta be strong because your wife and siblings and they're going through it right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then tukaenda kuzeka Msoma.
Yeah.
That's where tulipotokea.
Mm.
So tukapambana, put everything in place na nini. I think the last day ambao tuko church pale, that's when I cried. Vibaya mno. Wakati tuko church before tujaenda kuzeka. I cried vibaya mno. And I think I cried for her. I was crying because I think, God, you brought my brother home. God, why did you take this woman? God, thank you. My mom is okay. God, I need a job.
God, I need a job.
It was like a whole lot of things in my mind, right? So after that, tumeenda tukazika. But then, here's the epiphany, I would say, or something that happened later. So tumemaliza kuzika, tumerudi, tukaenda kufanya misa ya shukrani. And this is what I say, kwamba I believe yule padre siku zile alikuja specifically kuongea na mimi. He says something that resonated with me so much and I use it every day.
Yeah.
Akaambia, look guys, kama umesoma Bible, and I don't know if you read the Bible or if you're spiritual.
Yes, I've read the Bible.
You've read the Bible. Let's stick to that. Yeah. If you read the Bible, you know the story of Daniel.
Yeah.
Kwamba Daniel was thrown into the lion's den.
Yeah.
Huyu alikuwa amechaguliwa na Mungu. Right? Akatuambia, Jesus, Son of God.
Yeah.
Jesus prayed. Akamwambia Mungu, ikiwezekana hichi kikombe nisipitie. Mungu akapiga kimya. Yani Mungu akumjibu kabisa Jesus tujue. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, so if it happened to these people, what makes you think so special kwamba it cannot happen to you? This is the Son of God. Daniel was God's favorite. Mtu wake kabisa.
Mm.
He was thrown into the lion's den.
Mm.
Yesu alisulubiwa kabisa akafa. So if it happened to these people, what makes you think it cannot happen to you? Akamwambia, sometime, but God has a plan. Sometimes you gotta go through this for you to come out on the other side. And you appreciate this. And since then, no matter what I go through, I am never worried. No matter how hard the situation is, I am never worried.
Unajua uko Msasani.
Yes. Najua nasumbuliwa tuliko kwenye Msasa. It's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So and surprisingly so, after that, sana tumeshamaliza kuzika, tumerudi hapa tumetulia. That's when I got a job offer from Ubongo. They call me like, yo,
hapo ulikuwa umeapply karibuni au umeapply sawa?
Nilikuwa nimeapply and then mambo yakaendelea sasa misiba na nini. And waga naambia tu probably ningekuwa employed dile 3 months ningepoteza kazi kwa sababu you cannot be kila siku unaomba kazi. I'm like, probably in the spiritual world, it was more like God was like, okay, let's give you a break so you can deal with these things.
Yeah.
Now when you're all good and settled, go back to work.
Mm.
I honestly believe that was God's plan.
Amen.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof.
It wasn't meant to be heavy.
Yeah. So, Michael, una watoto eh?
Mm-hmm.
Una watoto ngapi?
2 girls.
2 girls.
Yeah.
Wana umri gani?
Gianna is 8. Brielle is 5.
Gianna na Brielle.
Yeah.
Majina ya Kinyamwezi.
Sasa Gianna ito Gianna Jacinta, Brielle ito Brielle Lucia. Kuna majina ya katikati ya kawaida.
Sawa.
Ya Kinyamwezi mama yao ndio kachagua.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, as someone who's relatively exposed, pre-exposed and exposed, and is constantly exposing themselves within the topic, mental health. Lakini also exposed to creating content kwa ajili ya watoto. Sindo mnachofanya Ubongo Kids. Na wewe ni mzazi na mlezi na una watoto. Unapambana vipi na changamoto za kulea mtoto sasa hivi kwenye this digital age where they have access to everything? Yani mimi sina mtoto, lakini kuna namna fulani nikifikiriaga naona saa zingine yani inabidi ucheze kiakili sana, ukali au utoboe. Yani si getikali utoboe, kwa sababu getikali ana simu
Wi-Fi nyumbani.
Ndio. Unapambana vipi na hizo changamoto kuhakikisha kwamba when you're there, but also especially when you're not there, mambo hayaharibiki?
Kwanza, I think if there's any content that kids should watch, the content's of Ubongo. Not that I'm plugging them in, but I am. But because I think we create this content tukiwa tumemwangalia kabisa an African child.
Okay.
Kwamba changamoto zake, uhalisia wake, maisha yake, wazazi wake, walezi wake. We put all that into consideration before we create this content, right? So these are the content like I can bank on. Kwamba if your kids are kiangalia contents, whether it's a Killing Me, whether it's Ubongo Kid, whether it's on your show, they're good. Kabisa. But then we are not the only content creators in the world.
Yeah.
About the contents of our watoto, right? Yeah. And
cartoons
right? So I by the way, it's hard and you gotta be patient. And I think hamna kitu ambacho kimenifundisha kuwa na subira kama kuwa mzazi. Right? Moja, imenifanya appreciate wazazi wangu even more. But pili, for sure, when I was 8 and when I was 5, nilikuwa sina akili ambazo Gianna na Brie wanazo. Like, they are so far ahead compared to how I was then. So far ahead. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm playing catch up. Right? Kuna vitu ambavyo nafundisha. I was kidding. I was talking to my wife the other day. Nilikuwa nimewapeleka tumeenda kucheza same saa tunarudi. Bree's asthmatic naye. Kwa manyiki tunatembea na sweater just in case. Yeah. So nikachukua sweater lake nimelifunga. And then she's like, Daddy, take off your superhero cap. In my mind, I'm like, how do you know about superhero cap? Like, in my mind, I'm like, I didn't teach you this.
Yeah.
Definitely, mama hako haja kufundisha hili. So it's either shule or kuna kitu umeona, right? So and they pick that.
Yeah.
So for me, moja, what I do, of course, kuna hizi normal thing kwamba lock your things, whether it's the iPad, make sure it is locked. You get it over the weekend or when I'm around.
Unawapa weekend tu?
Or when I'm around.
Or when you're around.
When you've behaved good, you can watch it. YouTube, make sure it is locked. Especially when I'm around, they need to know what you're watching. But it's not like wanakaa kwangu tu. They go to their cousins, they go to her, they go to her. So for me, it's more like having conversation like, look, if you hear bad word, talk to me. If you see 1, 2, 3, talk to me. You know the thing that you do, you're not supposed to watch. You know the thing that you're not supposed to talk about. You know these are the bad words that we don't say.
Yeah.
But let's have a conversation. And I try to have conversation. It takes your patience kwa sababu mimi na mkubwa waga tunakubaliana kwamba you don't lie to me, I don't punish you. Be honest with me always. Watu nikabega wanacheka, she's a girl, Michael, utafika muda atakudanganya. I'm like, okay, I know we're going to get there. I know. But then we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
For now, let's try to have conversation. Of course, kuna muda unakuwa mkali. But kuna muda you have to be a disciplinarian. Na lazima uelewe kwamba kazi yako kwanza ni kuwa baba.
Yeah.
You know, kazi yako ya kwanza ni kuwa mzazi. Kwa ku make sure kwamba wamenyoka, wapo kwenye straight line, mambo yanaenda. And then mama mwingine anafuata. Kwa you try. Like you said, ukiwa mkali utoboi. Unaweza kuwa mkali nyumbani, akienda shule anajiachia vibaya mno. Unakuwa mkali kwako, akienda kwa kazi yake, akienda kwa bibi, akienda kwa nani huko, anajiachia vibaya mno. So what does that help?
Anakuekitia nyumbani.
Anakuekitia nyumbani. And I don't want that. I don't want that for my kids. You know, I don't want that for my kids. Tumeona washikaji ambao walikuwa hivyo, that it not always may end up vizuri. So I'm like, let's try to have this much conversation. And I try to expose to, when it comes to content, expose our content as much as possible. You know, but personally, this is what pays the bill. Well, you guys support being these charity beings at home. You gotta watch what your dad creates. You know, but have conversation. And also, not only me, hata peers, au sehemu ambazo wanaenda mara nyingi pia tukikutana, we talk about what kids watch. You know, video games wanazocheza.
So most of your friends are also parents?
Most of my friends are also parents. Like most of my kids hang with their cousins. Wanakaa around the same neighborhood wote. You know? So most of the parents ni kwamba we talk. I'm like, guys, come on. Huku nyumbani leo nimesikia hili neno limetoka wapi? Litakuwa ilianzia huku. Na uzuri we have this thing kwamba any of us ambaye kisikia, they can deal with that thing pale kitokea. So that helps. So we hope maybe at 20 results now, maybe in 5-10 years time, tutaona results ambazo zitakuonyesha kama you've done it the right way or not. But then God's grace, unaomba tu. And also another thing that I try to do is try to kumfanya mjue Mungu zaidi, you know? Like know the things. So at that age, unajua bwana, Mungu hapendi uongo. Mungu hapendi hivi, Mungu hapendi hivi, Mungu hapendi hivi. And you hope, hii ni dhambi. So you hope as they grow, they get to understand that more. Ambayo itawasaidia kuweza, you still some values in them. Ambayo itawasaidia bado akishakuwa wakubwa watakapoanza wenyewe kucomprehend vitu vizuri zaidi, kuweza kuelewa. But it's tough. It's tough.
What's the biggest challenge you've ever had as a father?
So I am not a very super strict dad. And that sometimes comes off as if not a typical African parent ambaye unachapa watoto. Kwa sababu I don't believe kwenye kuchapa na chapana. I don't think so. I believe more in conversations but then we are not there yet as Africans. A lot of people wanasema kusema hivyo wanaona kwamba come on. What is it? What are you doing? But kuna siku I was talking again to Ruben. He dropped so many gems. Sana. Ruben is my family. You should have him in the Msasa one day. You love him. Kuna siku aliniambia, we were talking, kuna kitu alinitumia on Instagram. Nikasema, this takes patience. Kusana sasa. Akababa Michael, tukiwa kazini, tuonyesha patience kwa bosses wetu. Tuonyesha patience kwa watu ambao, kwa peers wetu. Why can't we extend the same courage to our kids?
Tunakuwa tumeshachoka.
True. Tumeka shoka. But you get his point.
I get it.
His point, this is your blood.
Patience.
So kama you can extend that patience to your peers and your bosses at the office. You should be able to extend the same at home. And that is what I'm learning to do mpaka leo. I'm learning to say, okay, we talked about jana. Let's talk it about again today. Yes, we've talked about the whole week. Naomba turudie tuongee. Kwa sababu ofisini, my guy, unawita mtu, unaambia mbona tumekosea, mbona I can't. Ikishindikana sana, unaweka kwenye performance improvement plan, right? We do 6 months, 20. So, kama you can actually do that kwa mtu ofisini, why can't you do it? Why can't you do the same kwa mtoto wako nyumbani? That resonated so well with me, and it's something that I'm trying to do. It's hard. Let's see. Let's see.
And you're a father and a husband. How big is the difference for you personally?
I'm a cool dad.
You're a cool dad.
I'm a fun guy in the house. And many it's like stress. But I think it's not so. I think it's about knowing when to moja. I think it's about always, even for the kids, it's about always knowing mama alichosema na ambacho mimi ningesema. So don't think because mama amesema hivi, mimi nitasema a different world. Nope. Because kids everywhere like wanaweza wakachunganisha but dad said, but mom said, no. So always akija kwangu, so what did mom say? What did mommy say? Mommy said that. I'm like, yes, we're doing what mommy said. But daddy, I'm like, no. If mommy says so, Hata kama sikubaliani nacho. And then mimi na tukikaa tukiongea like, come on, but what was that? Au yet and come on, what was that?
Yeah.
But that is, I figured like that is the way to go.
Yeah.
At least for me.
As a father.
As a father.
My question is, what's the difference for you between being a father and being a husband? Because you're still a husband.
I am still a husband. And that comes first before being a father, right? Or which one comes first? Because you made the wife before the kids.
It depends on the context.
It depends on the context. In my context, I made the wife before the kids.
Yeah. Is there a difference even?
I don't think so.
Or does it just kind of gel?
I think it just gel. I think it's knowing the balance, right?
Yeah.
It's knowing kwamba kuna muda huyu mama amerudi, as a wife amechoka, but as a mother kuna duty ambayo inabidi apambane nazo nyumbani.
Yeah.
It's about me knowing kurudi nyumbani jue kwamba as a husband I am tired, but as a father these kids only have 2 hours with them before they go to bed. Can I make the most of it?
Yeah.
Right? So it's always about finding that balance, and also about always knowing kwamba there's another, apart from the kids, there's another person who also needs your attention. Sometimes we tunafocus sana kwenye hao wawili, we forget about the other part. Right? Tunajisahau. So it's about being conscious enough kujua kwamba, hey, yes, take care of your kids, but also you gotta look after your spouse. And you have to be intentional about it. As human beings, tunajisahau, you sleep, you know?
Yeah.
And every now and then, or sometimes you take it for granted. You know?
Yeah.
But then you have to be conscious enough, and you have to be cautious efforts kujua kwamba this person also needs me.
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo, I need to make effort. Kama mnatoka kuwai, kabla watoto hawajalala, isiwe tu kabla watoto hawajalala, I should also know about my partner pia yupo.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a difference, clear, but at least for me, that's how I try to look at it.
Yeah.
You know, we try to stay in constant communication and
Okay.
Yeah.
And as a father and a husband, what's the worst advice you've ever been given?
Achana, watoto watakuwa tu.
Watoto watakuwa tu. Okay. Ni kweli lakini watakuwa tu.
Utaka wakuaje? Watoto watakuwa tu. And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's how my dad raised me.
That sounds like a guy.
He was a guy. It's always a guy.
Yeah.
You know, umepiga zako mpita jamani, I gotta go home. Wewe msitaki kujifanya ndio mume bora, watoto watakuwa tu. And I'm like, my nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. We tell each other that.
Yeah.
You know? We tell each other that. But no, I think that's the most advice I've ever given.
Yeah. We have a segment in the show, on the podcast, called Njia Boxing. And kwa leo, tulikuwa tunatamani kupata a personal experience, right? So feel free to be objective and subjective. Yeah, it's up to you. And I guess nilikuwa natamani kujua au nilikuwa natamani wewe uweze kuzungumzia for someone who's never done therapy before.
Yeah.
What is it and what isn't it?
So on the podcast, I have my partner naitwa Nadia.
Yeah.
Nadia is a therapist by profession.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my experience, and I'm going to pick bits of pieces of what she always says.
Okay.
Right?
So
it's going to be objective and subjective. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Ukiingia ofisini kwake, kuna kitu ameweka kinaitwa doing the work is the shortcut.
Doing the work
is the shortcut.
Is the shortcut.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for me, that sums up what therapy is. Right? From my personal experience, therapy is really about wewe na wewe kufanya kazi ya kujijua wewe na wewe kuja na majibu ya maswali yanayokuhusu wewe. You know? I think it's more about finding out, kwa mfano for me, is like, okay, Michael ni nani? Kwa nini Michael ikupo? Achana na mbatu wanavyomfikiria Michael na no. Yule Michael mwenyewe. Unajua, there's an image that people have of you, and probably you try to live up to that image most of the time.
We call it branding.
Yeah. Proper.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I say it. Mbele yako. But then kuna yule wewe ambaye ukiwa kwenye gari yako, kama una gari, uko wewe tu, hakuna mtu mwingine, unajua this is me. Kuna yule ambaye ni wenye in your room, uko bafuni taking a shower, you know kwamba huyu ndio mimi. So what therapy does, it helps you to get you to that part ya kujua wewe ni nani. So Michael ni nani? Michael amekulia wapi? Michael babake alimfanya nini? Michael mamake alimfanya nini? Babake na mamake walichomfanya kwa nini kimechangia Michael kuwa hapa? Michael kaka zake na kina wadogo zake na kina mdogo wake nani? Michael mke wake ni nani? Michael anafanya kazi gani? Je, Michael alikuwa anataka kufanya kazi siku zote? Michael alikuwa na ndoto ya hii kazi? Hayo Michael hii kazi kuna mtu alimpush kufanya. Kwa Michael ana resentment kutokana na yule mtu alichomfanyia. Kama Michael ana resentment imetokea wapi? Michael anajua kama ana resentment au kitu amekuwa na suppress tu, anaona poa. Michael anampenda baba yake au Michael anamchukia baba yake? Au Michael anamchukia baba yake lakini hawezi kusema kwa sababu how can you say kwamba unamchukia baba yako? Au Michael anampenda baba yake? Ashakumwambia baba yake kwamba anampenda? Why? Kwa nini ngumu Michael kumwambia baba yake anampenda? Kwa nini ngumu Michael kuchukua simu kumwambia mama yake mama anakupenda? Kwa nini? Kwa nini Michael anakia so much kuhusiana na watu wanavyomwona yeye? Why should that matter? Watu wana impact gani kwake? What triggered Michael kufikia hapa? So what the therapy does to you, it gets your answers to those kind of questions. And I know we were talking wakati compare, kwa nasema kwamba have you ever met ambao ushakutana na mtu ambaye ukimgusa tu usiniguse bwana, kwenda kwa mkali? I'm not saying it's the case, but probably mtu alikuwa abusive kwa utotoni. So because of that, hataki mtu amkaribie. Na probably alikuwa abused na mtu ambaye yuko karibu yake. Like this person not going to deal with it kama wezi kwenda therapy na kuweza ku-unpack. And for men, especially Tanzanian men, I don't know why nimepunguza sauti. Maybe because of the sensitivity.
Yeah.
And I think for men, a lot of us Tanzanian men, tumekuwa na some sort of traumas. Tumepigwa sana na wazee wetu, tumepigwa sana na mama zetu. Tumekuwa condemned sana. Tumeambiwa sana vitu haviwezekani. You know, kuna vitu vimekuwa planted kichwani kwetu. Kuna watu wameona na single parent kwa kwamba baba zao ni wabaya kabisa. Kwa life amekuwa anamchukia baba yake. Baadaye anapokuwa mkubwa anagundua kumbe baba kwa sio mbaya. Then kwa mama ina maana mama alikuwa muongo. Baadaye unasemaje mama alikuwa muongo? This is the woman who raised me, she loved me.
Yeah.
My mama was kwa muongo, lakini huu ni uongo. So what therapy does, it helps you to come to terms with that. It doesn't say forgive your mother or forgive your dad, but it makes you see things for what they are. And you kuwa free kufanya maamuzi yako. Therapy nakufanya useme kwamba okay, yes, mi babangu alikuwa mwanajeshi. This is just an example. My dad wasn't, but babangu alikuwa mwanajeshi na alikuwa mkali sana. Kwa hiyo kiukweli hatukuwa na bond. Lakini we didn't know then. Tulijua that's the way ya kukua. Lakini now nimekuwa, there's a reason why I don't go home every weekend. Na my dad, yani mi nakaa Mbezi, mzee anakaa Kunduchi. There's the reason I don't go home every weekend. But there's the reason naenda ukweni nilikooa after every 2 weeks. They are warming, they are loving, wananikaribisha. Lakini kwetu siendi. There must be a reason. So what therapy does, inakusaidia ku-unpack you a bit. And this is why I insist for a lot of people. Nilikuwa natoa mfano mmoja, kuna jamaa alikuwa ananiambia, anasema yeye ilimchukua kwenda therapy kugundua kwamba alivyokuwa mdogo kuna incident moja ilitokea kufanya alifanya ndugu yake, ila yeye alitandikwa vibaya mno mpaka kuning'inizwa kichwa chini miguu juu. Na baba to the point akasema, wewe ni mzee wangu kweli? Alisema Michael, that thing has stuck with me for the longest time. Nikaja nimesuppress, nikajua ina, lakini nilikuwa na resentment na mzee wangu vibaya mno. It took me going to therapy na kujua issue na kurudi. Na nilivyoongea na mzee kuhusu issue, mzee akambia, remember exactly when it happened. I apologize. Anakwambia they needed that conversation na mzee wake. But then again, sometimes unaweza ukagundua wazee wasio na closure kuambia samahani vile vile. It helps you to come to terms with the reality. But then hiyo ni mfano tu parenting. Kuna issues za sponsors, kuna issues za mazingira. Kuna mtu alienda shule boarding because how you move na nini, watu wakamwambia you must be gay. He wasn't. He became a laughing stock shuleni. By the time amaliza shule, he wants nothing to do with everybody he went to school with. Nothing to do with everybody he went to school with. Shut out everybody, ameendelea na maisha yake. right? Those are the kind of things about now as you're going through things, sometimes you don't know. But what therapy does, it helps you to unpack those things. So that's what therapy is. And honestly, I always tell people, if you go into therapy thinking kwamba after session 1, session 2, I'm going to be okay, it doesn't work like that. It's a process. You got to do the work. You got to go in. You got to dig deep. Therapist wanachofanya watakuuliza yale maswali mpaka maswali ambayo yapendi. We did an episode kwenye Men na my guy anaitwa Sande Kapese. Sande anasema aliulizwa swali moja kwamba unaoyafanya baba yako angekuwepo angejisikia wakati baba yake amefariki. Wacha akasiriki. Unamzuaje babangu? Wewe mjui babangu? Na nini? Therapist kama kana muangalia, tunaambia fanya unachofanya. But you gotta answer this question. Baada hapo amemaliza akaanza kulia. Why? Toka mzee wake amefariki, grief, akumlilia mzee wake kufanya nini? He went to the Facebook mode, Big Brother mode, let's sort things out. Akisha mzika, he never got a chance ya kuweza kukaa na kunanili. So when he was asked that question, like, how dare you? You don't even know my dad. You went there, wakatunda mzika my dad. Unanuza mimi, huna mjue babangu. Na therapist akamwambia, no. Fanya unachofanya, zunguka, pandisha sauti, shusha. You gotta answer this question. But then it opened up room for a lot of emotions after that. So in a nutshell, that is what therapy does, kwako.
Yeah.
So I urge everybody, if you can, tuachane his notion kwamba ni mambo ya kizungu. I always say kwamba mambo ya kizungu tunaiga mengi tu. Mengine hata yana msingi.
Tuige mazuri basi.
Tuige basi. Tusichague, tusiselect sana. Kama tumeamua kuiga mambo ya kizungu, basi tuige hata yale ambayo tunaona ni beneficial.
Yeah.
Professionals wapo,
Yeah.
Let's seek help. Hapo watu ambao wanaweza wakakaa kuongea, wakakusaidia. Because I always feel like the biggest prize for a man is kuwa self-aware.
Biggest prize or prize?
Prize.
The biggest prize for a man. Ni kuwa
self-aware. Prize with a Z-E.
Yeah, Z-E.
Yeah, Z-E.
Yeah.
Yani kuwa self-aware.
Yeah.
Yani there's nothing that can top that. Personally, I feel it. Nothing that can top that. Yani once you become a very self-aware individual, yani kuna vitu vita kubother. Utakuwa very centered. Na utakuwa very, okay, it is what it is. So yeah, you should try. If you haven't. If you have, well and good. But you haven't. And like we said earlier, go. It doesn't have to be in crisis wakati unaenda.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
And ukienda pale when you're good, like right now unaangalia Msasa, unasikiliza Msasa, and you feel like, you know what? I'm good. Let me just try it. Go. Don't do session 1. Do a couple of sessions. But when you're another therapist wanasema after 4 or 5 sessions, that's when they wanaweza kugauge vitu vingi zaidi. So don't do it once, don't do it twice. Go. It helps.
Poa.
Yeah.
Asante. Umenipa assignment. That wasn't the goal.
No, somebody challenged me.
Yeah.
Somebody challenged me. I got Michael, call your mom. And out of nowhere, mwambie, I love you, mom.
Yeah.
Mwambie.
Yeah.
Call your dad kama yupo. Mwambie, call your brother. You know? Sijui kwa nini moyo unakuwa mzito kufanya hivyo, especially kwa wanaume. You don't even know why, but it's...
Yeah. Culture.
Yeah. Most likely.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
But then as we're on the journey of unpacking things, these are the kind of things about we can look back and say,
but why? Yeah. Why not? Why didn't I?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Michael, thank you.
No, thank you, my guy.
Yeah. Asante.
Karibu kwenye Msasa, where we talk to successful people about failure.